In this lesson, we're going to discuss how to construct a contingency table. Now, contingency tables are usually used to compare variables that are at the nominal or ordinal level of measurement. So for the Macintosh Auto Group data set, what we have here is we have the dealerships and the types of vehicles that they sell. And so this contingency table allows us to compare the types of vehicles that are being sold at each dealership. For example, if we look at this table, we notice that at the Berks and Erie dealerships, they sell the most compacts as a percentage of their overall sales. The Chester dealership sells the most trucks, and the Delaware dealership sells the most sedans. And also the Sullivan dealership sells the most trucks as a percentage of its overall sales. Now, to construct a contingency table like this, it's very easy to do this using Excel, so let's take a look at that data set. So here we have our Macintosh Auto Group data set. Now, to construct our contingency table, what we're going to do is this. We're going to highlight all of our data, including the header row. So highlight the data like that. Let's go back up. And then we're going to select Insert, and Excel calls it a pivot table. So click on the pivot table icon. Now notice that the data location appears in this box. And what we want to click on, it's easiest to use a new worksheet. So click on the new worksheet button right there, and then click OK. Now we're going to construct our pivot table. Now over here we have the different variables that we can select from our data set. Now if you recall, our pivot table, the location was represented by the rows. So we're going to grab the location and drag it down into the row box right down here. Now the type of vehicle, those were specified along the columns. So we're going to drag the type down to the columns right here, and you see they appear. Now we want to sum up all of the values for the type versus the location. So we're also going to take the type and drag it and drop it into the summation values box right here. And there you go. We have our pivot table created. Right here it is. So notice how the rows are the dealership and the columns are the types of vehicles sold. And that's exactly what we have right here. Now if we wanted, we could switch the rows and columns by moving the variables around in these different boxes. So for example, we could move the type over here to the row, the location up to the columns, and you see now the vehicle type are the rows and the dealerships are the columns. So you can switch it around like that. And so that concludes this brief video on how to construct a contingency table using Excel.